Harambe Wildlife Reserve was created to meet the growing challenges that face our native wildlife here in Africa. Expanding
Row 8, stop the red line. When they move again, you go to the yellow line. Stop. Row 7, stop the red line. Gates are closing. Red line. You go to the yellow line.
Jumbo everyone, and welcome to Kilimanjaro Safari. Before you begin your trip, you should know that the unpaved roads of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve pass through rough and rugged terrain. You may experience bumps and some jolts on your safari adventure. To ensure a safe and pleasant trip, you should be in good health and free from high blood pressure, heart, back from
Driving your doors are closed.
Gracias.
Secure the little lady, please. There we go. You are clear.
Sound is not awarded, and so Harambe Puppy, which means let's go. Jump everyone, and welcome to Kilimanjaro Safari.
Gates are opening.
Once on board your safari transport,
Let's get in. Let me go inside other side.
Let's go. Well, jumbo everyone, my name is Danny and I'm going to be your safari guide today here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. It does look like you can go straight on into the reserve, so as a quick safety reminder, I do ask that each and every one of you to please remain seated at all times. It does get a bit bumpy out here on the reserve, so that is for your safety and the safety of others. Now you are more than welcome to take as many pictures as you want, but have those cell phones and cameras out and ready. Because already on the right hand side, kind of hiding behind these trees over here just a bit, is an okapi. Now many people do mistake the okapi to be part of the zebra family because of those nice back legs, kind of looking like a zebra. Well, they're actually not part of the zebra family at all. They're actually part of the giraffe family. They were discovered back in 1901 by a British explorer by the name of Sir Henry Milton Johnson. But just like the giraffe, they do have a nice 18-inch long tongue in order to easily grab and pull leaves off of small trees and bushes. Keep looking to your right-hand side because it does look like there's two female greater kudos up on the hill over here. I say females because, well, females will not have horns, while males will have horns. Greater kudos do grow to a nice 55 inches at their shoulders. Does look like there's a third one up there as well, but she's kind of hiding really well up there. Well, there are two types of rhinos here in Africa, and one being the black rhino. The black rhino is actually the lighter of the species of rhinos. They do actually only grow to about good 3,000 pounds. They do also have a nice pointed mouth in order to easily help them as well to eat the delicious trees and bushes. Well, there used to be over thousands and thousands of rhinos out in the wild, but unfortunately due to poaching, there are only about 1,000 left. Their horns are being poached, which is kind of pointless to us. Still looking to your left though, kind of up in the trees over there, a couple of bongos. Bongos are known as the ghost of the forest as well, because, well, typically during the daytime, they do tend to hide extremely well, while they are a little bit more active during the nighttime, and it is easier for them to blend in with the night sky. They just like to go out to eat as well as to walk around the forest. Well, as we leave the Little Aturi Forest, our next journey is going to be into the Safi River. Animals in the Safi River do like to spend the majority of their time in the water, but they do also come up on land. couple animals that I see kind of poking their head out of the right side of the river over here are a couple of hippopotamuses. Hippos can actually hold their breath to a nice 8 minutes long. They actually do not know how to swim, which is kind of crazy to me. Spending the majority of your life in the water, why do you not know how to swim? Well, they either walk or run to get from one side of the river to the other side. Speaking of the other side, on the left-hand side of the river, there are a couple more hippos over here, kind of laying down or kind of hanging out in the water. Again, they also do come out at night in order to kind of roam around and eat. While they're on land, they can run up to speeds of 35 miles an hour. But they do mostly stay most of their time in the water because it is nicer and cooler, and it does actually help them to protect their skin. Also on the islands over here on the left, there are a couple of pink-backed pelicans. They're the lighter grayish-white looking birds over here. And I know they do not look very pink right now, but they actually do get their pink color during mating season. Well, during mating season, they are extremely social birds. They do like to mate up with about 500 other pairs in a nest. Looks like there's a couple of crocodiles kind of hanging out over here on the left-hand side as well, kind of sunbathing over there. Well, these crocodiles are known as the Nile crocodiles. The Nile crocodiles are the second largest crocodile species. They do grow to a nice 19 feet long, weigh 200 pounds, and can run at a whole 10 miles an hour. Well, throughout the day, they will hold their mouth open, not because they're hungry. They actually do not have sweat glands like we do, so that is actually one way for them to stay nice and cool. Well, as we leave the Safi River, our next journey is going to be into the Savannah. The Savannah is the largest area here on the reserve, and this is also where we do usually have a pretty good luck spotting many different animals. I spot a couple of giraffes already in the distance over here. Giraffes are the world's tallest animal. They do grow to a nice 20 feet long when they are fully grown. And when a baby is born, they are already standing at 6 feet tall. Also, on the right-hand side, right behind the giraffe over there, they're laying down the light gray, blackish looking animals in the shade. Those guys are known as the white-bearded wildebeest. The white-bearded wildebeest do migrate up to about 1,000 miles every year. They do migrate up with about 1.5 million other wildebeest. Of course, if they happen to stumble upon another group of wildebeest, of course, they will stick with those wildebeest as well in order to migrate up with them. Because they do say, of course, the more that you have in a group, of course, the safer you are. Especially at night, while half the wildebeest will sleep, the other half the wildebeest will stay awake in order to just be aware of their surroundings. If anything does happen around the area, they will wake the rest of the wildebeest up in order to get them to safety. If you look over to your left-hand side, they're kind of hanging out in the grassy, shady areas over here. In the very back are a couple of dogs. Well, these dogs are known as the African wild dogs. The African wild dogs are the top predator out in the wild. They do have a great 90% success rate of catching their prey. Now, the way that they catch their prey is simply by running their prey down to exhaustion. Another name they do go by is the painted dog. Giraffe crossing the road over here. But also, if you keep looking to the left-hand side, there are a couple of cute little couple of cute springboks over here. Springboks are the smallest of the antelope family. They do only grow to about 3 feet tall when they are fully grown. They can actually spring up to the air to about a good 6 feet high. They can leap to about a good 13 feet. And they can run at a whole 50 miles an hour. When they get scared or frightened, they do pounce. That is a baby giraffe over here on the left hand side. There are 5 babies on the reserve. They do range anywhere from about a couple of months old to about a year old. Looks like there's 4 all together over here hanging out. Well, typically out in the wild you will not see the giraffes laying down like these babies are right here, unless they do feel extremely safe in the environment that they are in, because it does actually take them a little bit of extra time in order to get up and get back on the run. When they do decide to run at full speed, they do run up to a nice speed of 35 miles an hour, but they cannot stay at 35 miles an hour for a very long distance. They can only stay at that for a very short distance. If they want to go for a longer distance, they have to drop their speed down to about 10 miles an hour in order to go a longer speed. A group of giraffes is also known as a tower. Giraffes do love to eat. They eat about a good 30 kilograms of food every day. They eat for about 20 hours of their day. Their 18-inch long tongue definitely helps make that possible. Well, if you look all the way to the very back on the right-hand side, the guys with the nice long horns over there, those guys are known as the Ankole cattle. While the Ankole cattle are not used for their milk, they're not used for their meat. Well, then what in the world are they used for? Well, they're actually used for as a currency still to this day in Africa. They're also known as the Watusi cattle after the first tribe that actually did domesticate them. Over here, kind of on the hill on the left-hand side, a couple of sable antelopes. Well, sable antelopes are the emblem here of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Out in the wild, they do form herds up to about 30 females with 1 male in order just to keep them nice and safe, kind of show them where to go, and of course where the great delicious food is. I think I spotted an elephant through the tall grass over here. Looks like there's one in the very back, but there's one all as well over here on the right hand side that we'll get a better look at. Well, this elephant is known as the African elephant. The way that I know it's an African elephant is their ears. Their ears are the biggest difference between the 2 species. Their ears do kind of look like the shape of Africa. By flopping those nice giant ears of theirs, it does actually help them to stay nice and cool. Let's see if we can see the one in the very back. Yeah, there we go. See the one in the very back. A little bit better than that other one over there. Well, there is another difference between the species. The other difference is their weight. The African elephants actually do weigh up to about 12,000 pounds, where the other species can weigh up to about a good 15,000 pounds. Well, elephants do like to stay extremely hydrated. They do drink about a good 200 liters of water every day. They also do love to eat. They eat about a good 500 pounds of food every day as well. Well, the food does mainly consist of the trees, the bushes, and the grass, of course. But every once in a while, if they do find the good stuff, they will eat carrots and lettuce. But they can't always find all that good stuff, so every once in a while they'll eat delicious red clay. The red clay actually does give them a form of nutrition that the leaves actually will not provide for the elephants. Spot a couple more elephants over here on the left-hand side. Elephants do also have extremely sensitive skin. So one way to stay nice and protected from the sun is, well, trying to find nice shady areas in order to protect their skin as well as to stay cool. But the main way that they protect their skin is by either throwing mud or dirt up onto their backs. They use the mud and dirt as a form of natural sunscreen in order to protect their skin. Well, if you ever do have an elephant problem, well, I definitely have a solution for you. And, well, that's bees. They're actually really terrified of bees. They're not scared of the bee itself. They're actually scared of the buzzing sound that the bee makes. Well, they did a study back in Africa where the elephants were destroying crops of farmers. So the farmers decided to put up a fence. Well, of course, a 12,000-pound elephant will easily destroy a fence, so they decided to put up a couple of beehives. Bees moved in, elephants stayed out. Of course, there was absolutely no elephants harmed. The elephants just simply went to other areas of the savannah in order to find their food. A couple of flamingos over here on the left-hand side on the little island. These flamingos are known as the greater flamingos. The greater flamingos are the largest of the flamingo family. They are also the lightest pink of the flamingo family as well. A group of flamingos just like this one is also known as a flamboyant. Well, when flamingos are born, they are typically not that color pink yet. They're actually not pink until around 2 years old, thanks to their favorite diet of shrimp. Now, their shrimp does actually contain keratin that does help them to give them that nice pink color.
Oh, rhinos.
Well, the other type of rhinos are the white rhinos in Africa. A group of rhinos is also known as a crash. The white rhinos are the largest of the rhino family. They can grow up to a nice 5,000 pounds. When they decide to run, they can run at a speed of 35 miles an hour. The white rhino does have a nice wide mouth in order to help them to easily grab and pull leaves off, or not the leaf, to eat the leaves that have fallen off of the trees and bushes, but mainly to eat the delicious grass that you see them eating over there. Rhinos actually do have really bad eyesight. They can actually only see about 10 feet in front of their face. But of course, to make up for that bad eyesight, they do actually have really good hearing. Spot a couple of cheetahs over here on the left-hand side hanging out in the shady area.
Look at the cheetahs.
Cheetahs are the fastest land cat. They do run up to speeds of 60 miles an hour. But of course, they cannot keep that speed for very long. They can only keep that speed for about a few hundred yards before they do start to get a bit tired. They can actually go from 0 to 60 within just 3 seconds. While they are a little bit more active during the daytime, it being hot and muggy right now, I really actually do not blame them for kind of just laying down and hanging out in the shady areas. Well, I spot a couple of lions up on the rocks over here. Looks like there is a male and 2 females up there. Male lions do have manes. Those manes can weigh up to a good 40 pounds. Females are known as lioness. They do like to rest for about 20 hours of their day, where they are said to only be awake for about 3 years of their life. And this male lion does look a bit familiar. Well, you might have seen him around before. You probably have seen him in the new live-action movie of The Lion King. He was the biggest inspiration for it. Of course, who else other than the main lion, Mufasa? There's the females over there. They are more active at night. The females will go out to hunt while the males will stay back in order to protect the territory. And of course any cubs they might have. Cubs are taught how to go out to hunt at only 2 months old. Speaking of the Lion King, a couple of warthogs over here. Warthogs are the largest of the burrowing family. Their closest relative is the domesticated pig. Well, females and males do have those nice tusks, but females' tusks are going to be a lot smaller and a lot thinner than the male's tusks. They do use those tusks in order to dig at their burrows. But of course, they do not always use their burrows. They do use other animals' burrows as well. Over here on the right-hand side looks to be an ostrich. The ostriches are the world's tallest birds. They are also a flightless bird as well. Ostriches, females can grow to a nice 7 feet tall, while the males can grow to a nice 9 feet tall. Females have brown feathers, males have black. Also over there with the ostrich is a bongtobok. Bongtobok's closest relative is the wildebeest. Bongoboks are able to stand within the first 30 minutes of life, where the wildebeest are able to stand in the first 15. I saw a couple of you guys pointing at those eggs and probably wondering what those eggs were. Well, they're actually ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs do weigh up to about a good 3 pounds. They're pretty big in size as well. If you want to compare an ostrich egg with a chicken egg, well, get about a dozen chicken eggs, put them all together, and that does give you about the equivalent of 1 ostrich egg. They're also pretty sturdy as well. If you get a full-grown man to put all his weight up on the egg, not even he will be able to crack the egg open. Well, this area of the reserve was made possible thanks to the Disney Conservation Fund. By donating to the Disney Conservation Fund, you get to help out this guy over here. Well, not only this guy, but all the amazing animals. This guy is known as a scimitar horned oryx. The scimitar horned oryx are unfortunately extinct out in the wild, mainly due to climate change. So the only places that you could see them are here on reserves. Well, out in the wild, he can go about 9 months without drinking water. He does get his water source from his food that he eats, and he doesn't typically sweat until he's about 115 degrees. Well, that Disney Conservation Fund doesn't only help Harambe's Wildlife Reserve, it does help other reserves worldwide as well. And whatever amount of money one does donate, Disney will match that exact same donation. But I don't like to donate. Well, that's okay. You still want to help? Yep. Well, then another way to do that is by reducing, reusing, and recycling. That's absolutely for free. You can do that at home. You can start today or wherever you may be in the world. Not only will it help the animals, but it does also help us out as well to make this world that we live in a better and cleaner place. Well, for any wilderness explorers on my truck today, my truck's name is Simba 1. That's S-I-M-B-A and the number 1 on page 15 of your Wilderness Explorer Handbook. Well, here on the reserve, we do not like to say goodbye. That is way too sad, way too final. So instead, Kwaherini, my new friends. Kwaherini is Swahili for go well. So I do hope that you go well. I hope you go wild. And I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day here today at Animal Kingdom, or wherever your adventures might take you.